Today we're fishing with Captain William Townsend, and when I tell you he's a professional captain, he is a true professional captain. He is one of those guides that is so calculated in the way he goes about his fishing. We had some challenging conditions and he had a plan, and we stayed with that plan, and was really the only reason we were that successful. Port Aransas is a cool little beach town that you actually have to take a ferry across to get to the island, which adds to the charm. But the real charm is the fact that the fishing grounds that surround that area are unbelievable. Super shallow, clean water, and really, regardless how hard the wind blows, there's lots of opportunities. Good morning, Captain Townsend. Got a couple of goodies for you there that we can throw. Try to go make a few of these fish do what we want in the wind.
Let's see what we can do.
I'll bet we can make it happen. Compared to the last few days, this is a pretty day. When I first got here, it was ugly. How's fishing been?
It's been great. Been catching tailing fish. We're ready, and you're more than welcome to sit back here or front, wherever you'd like.
Give you a little kickoff?
Be a little bumpy, but won't be bad.
Hey, I'm starting to learn that bumpy is kind of synonymous with Texas.
Yeah, you don't know if you don't go.
That's right.
So we're gonna get after it. Today, at the start of the morning, first thing I did was check all the tides. I knew they were higher today than they were yesterday, and there was flooding tides. So the water filled up enough that I could run, get into backcountry, almost to the dunes. We could hear the surf crashing in the background, and got on grass, and luckily we paid off with tailing fish, schools of fish, and a lot of life. There was bait and everything back there, so it worked out great.
All the way in. He looked like a carrot sticking out of the bottom.
Look at your 11, it's kind of right.
Here's a fish right here in the grass. This is a red.
Yeah. There he is. Good job, CA. Awesome.
That's that quick draw that you have to have.
Yeah.
He went looking for it too, because I dropped it right straight down on top of him and let it sit there.
That was sweet.
And he's no giant, but that was a fun eat. That was a fun eat.
And he was just laying in that.
He was laying there, and I thought he was going to spook out, because I hopped it one time and he started going crazy, like doing figure eights, and I was like, he's done. And then the next thing I knew, I pulled it out of the grass and he was behind it, following it.
Woo! That was sweet. Look at the blue on his tail.
I mean, it's a gorgeous fish.
Yeah, his tail is lit up.
Yeah, he could get a job as a painter for sure. Trying to let him settle a little bit so I can get a hold of him, because, I mean, we literally caught him one rod length off the boat. I want him to settle down. All right, you done?
He's pretty.
Are you done?
He's got a beautiful.
I mean, that one there, he was a rascal.
He had a beautiful tail.
Yeah, he was a rascal. Oh, look at that tail, totally lit.
He's all lit up.
And heavy for his length.
They've been in here feeding.
Super heavy for his length.
He's definitely putting on some weight.
They're looking into the tide, and they're
right
just,
into the wind and coming in.
Well, give him a send-off and see if we can't rinse and repeat, huh?
Yes, sir. All right, well, we just kind of roll up on this flat. We're going to be working this east shoreline that has varying sand holes within it. And what we're going to do is we're going to be throwing a topwater and trying to hit those potholes. But when we come up to these points and little guts and indentions within the mangroves, there's sand. So we want to switch over, and we'll be using the crab imitation bait to blind cast into those areas. And we're going to give this a go, see how it works out. If it works out, we're going to come back around and work further east.
Well, I'm never disappointed when I get the chance to throw one of these.
No.
Yeah, it's just such a visual deal, and on a day like today, typically you get enough texture on the water, these are less effective, but this water is, we're working a foot of water here, so yes. it's going to be hard to hide this.
Something's moving there. Oh, he's on it.
Oh, I saw it.
Oh.
Followed it the whole way back.
He followed it up. Okay, there's one going right here.
Texas is one of those fisheries where it's extremely shallow, very reminiscent of our filming that we do in Mosquito Lagoon here in Titusville. And it's, in my opinion, one of the better sight fishing venues in the entire country when it comes to targeting redfish. And if you can get the right day, I mean, you can have some pretty incredible numbers there along that Texas coast. I'm gonna grab another lure that I think will get down a little better.
All right.
Only take a second to switch it. That one's just not doing it for me.
Okay, going away at your 9 o'clock?
Floating right here.
Yep. Yep, there you go.
You liked it that time.
Nice.
You liked it that time. And that was keeping contact with the mud floor there.
On the bottom.
Right on the bottom. I didn't get it off the bottom. I just kind of drug it so that it would stay down, because when I switched off that crab profile and went to that little TRD, that TRD just lets you drag it. It doesn't plane up. I got this one. He's not a giant, but he was worth the cast.
Yes, sir.
Definitely worth the cast. Easy now, easy.
You got it, or you want me?
Oh, I got him.
All right.
I got this one, for sure.
He's a keeper.
Yeah, he is a keeper.
Might not be a tournament fish, but...
No, but nonetheless.
What we're after.
Heavy for his length. Hold him upside down for a second. Yeah, he went for the worm. Amazing how something simple like that has no appendages is the thing that fools them.
Nothing moving, just
nothing moving.
Dragging it along the bottom.
Just kind of drag it, and it's probably a lot like the foods that they eat. You know, just a worm. A gorgeous looking little fish.
Yep, she's pretty.
This one's, like you said, it's got more of the silver white with the pink in the fins.
Real light. He's been up here on the sand. Yeah. Probably just hanging around this bait and this mullet, swimming around in here.
There he goes. He doesn't know what happened. He's gonna go back home and say, it's one of those days, guys.
Stay away from the worms.
Yeah, stay away from those worms, boy. I got sick to my stomach. I actually felt like it came out of the water. When you're fishing in Texas, a lot of the fishing is done on the push pole. fact, the majority of it is if you're fly fishing. We were light tackle fishing with really small jigs and soft plastics. But the style is very similar to fly fishing. It has to be very methodical, very calculated, slow, paced. Even when the wind is blowing, you're kind of keeping yourself in position where you have the best zone to see the fish and have the opportunity, if you don't see one initially, where you might get a first or second shot, because the wind is so tough, you can't just charge through there. You have to give your angler more than one opportunity to catch the fish. Williams' poling style, it probably exemplifies that. I think I've only fished with 1 or 2 other guides in 30 years that is that purposeful when they're on the back of that poling platform doing their job.
There he goes. Awesome. Good deal.
Oh man, come on. We fed him like right next to the boat. Fish is bigger than I thought he was too.
It's pretty nice.
He was bigger than I thought he was. I love this bait. It's hard not to want to pick it up every time you come.
Yeah, I love that. That looks good.
It's just one of those patterns that always catches a fish.
And especially in the conditions we have with this low water, light grass, and overcast.
It's the little beastie bug. It's got a giant hook on it though, so there's a lot of gaps. So it's a little bit different than having the Texas rig. You can get away with a lot more with that bait because if they bite it, they're hooked. You don't have to worry about it.
Bouncing in the shallow grass, the shallow water.
Such a good looking fish. All you see is just a little reddish color, and you gotta be like you're doing. You're pulling right on top of them or we'd never know they're here. I'm finding myself even whispering now because I'm afraid to spook anything around us.
They're kind of going off all around us.
Yep.
Beautiful fish.
Put them back.
Great job.
Sometimes you don't get the idyllic day to go do this style of fishing. This day with Captain William Townsend, it was not that day. Overcast, wind, rain. You would see a fish pop up and start tailing, and he's in his happy place. But it might be like gonna take you a minute to get there. And by the time you got there and in casting range, boom, he's gone. And because visibility was such a challenge with the light, you never knew where he went. So big changes, and then you were having to allow for a cast where you can present the bait where it stays out in front of him and he doesn't feel the braid or he doesn't feel the leader. It made for a very challenging day catching those tailors.
There you go. There you go.
Felt him tap it the first time. They don't want it to be static. They want you to keep changing it. So that's why I keep changing the angle of my rod, or I change the cadence of the reeling. They just want change. And the worm, the real deal.
Good deal.
I changed this one up a little bit. I put that Texas eye on it just because we're dealing with so much wind to cast against it. This rod's not as stiff, so you can't punch through it. You gotta kind of lob this one.
You gotta ease it into it.
Yeah, you gotta lean on it. That was kind of fun. I know he followed that for a little while. I got this one. Wow. Come on. I don't know what that worm looks like, but it's obviously something that's on the menu.
Pretty healthy Texas red.
Yes.
One of these days he'll maybe be a bull.
I think not only are we counting on it, I think he's counting on it too. All right, buddy. So much of our fishing there on the Texas coast is devoid of a lot of fin fish in that super skinny water. In fact, we had so much flooded water from the direction the wind was coming, we were literally fishing in these cow pastures. And what we were finding is that most of the forage that could be seen and couldn't be seen, because you could tell the fish were tailing, were definitely crustacean lookalikes. So we were throwing everything from shrimp lookalikes to crab lookalikes to little worms, anything that you could work in a fashion or present that would behave like a crustacean, it would get garbled up pretty quick. Might switch colors again.
What about your feather jigs?
It might take that. Ooh, here's one right here.
There he is. Yeah.
Do you see that?
Yeah, I did. That was awesome.
He literally almost broke his neck to eat that.
It floated right up.
They just want it high. That was an amazing eat. I mean, it was coming literally right into his head. I was like, certainly he will not do this. He will not play. Wow, that was incredible. If I wasn't there to witness that, I would say it would never happen. There's no way it happens that way. He was even moving away. I was on his six where he couldn't see me.
He just looped his head back around.
Yeah, he just kind of checked up and he was looking at it go over his head and he almost came straight up. I was like, no. This will get you kicked out of the Redfish Club if you do something this stupid, and he did. They might take his spot away for that one.
Losing his spot.
You lose a spot for doing something dumb like that. Ate a little pink shrimp.
It was great how that shrimp just was floating on the surface.
I just was trying to get it up high over his head. All right, we're gonna let this one go. Wow. Well, that was a valuable lesson to both him and I. If you are a sight fishing nerd or a skiff nerd and you're looking for a destination, a venue that really sets up for that style perfectly, that middle Texas coast all the way down to South Padre Island is just amazing. Whether you fly fish, light tackle fish, it's just one of those gorgeous areas that on the right day, you will get more than your share of opportunities to catch these fish with your eyes. And in my opinion, maybe the best place to fish in the country for that style, honestly, because there's so much room. There's lots of room. Texas is the last frontier for this style where you can really have some personal best days.
Oh, there we go.
Woo! That is the way to end a day right there.
That's it.
That's it. I mean, the channel's right there. We just talked about, you know, whoa, he's trying to get under. Come on, buddy. We were just saying, you know, if we can catch one more between here and the channel, I don't have much of a rod here, and just swimming that shrimp in those thin grass edges, got another one. It was meant to be. You and I were talking about Well, getting pretty hungry.
That's
maybe
perfect.
we should call it a day. And then this guy shows up. Wow, and he is different looking. He's got kind of a different look to him. But that shrimp was definitely what the doctor ordered. Definitely.
Got it right on the edge.
Yeah. Well, this bait behaves a lot like your client's swim a fly. It has that little
Flutter.
yeah, that little flutter, that little climb. Wow, what a fish. The last one's always the best one. I don't care what size it is.
That's right.
The last one's always the best one. Texas for me has just been, it's been on the back burner for too long. We fished there too many seasons ago, and getting reacquainted this year, I actually planned it so that I could fish here twice this year. And was really inspired by both guides that I fished with out here this season. So I think you can count on us coming back next year. I really want to do something on big trout. I think Texas is the place I should be.
Wow!